What's up, YouTube? So you've got a dog that's just killing everything it pees on, leaving giant burn marks in your yard like this right here. Stay tuned, we're going to talk about how we can fix this. Alright, so first things first, my name's Shane Heath. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, please consider hitting subscribe. You know, the 80-something% of y'all that watch these videos that don't hit subscribe, help me out here. Basically, I'm just an average guy that picked up a camera along my long journey, showing you where I came from a new construction lawn 2 years ago that had no grass at all. Got my backyard full of zoysia without sod, and this is basically my journey along the way, and from now on showing you how to improve your yard and how I'm improving my yard. So first things first, let's talk about why your dog is burning your yard or leaving spots like this right here after he pees. Basically, a dog's pee is very high in nitrogen, or your dog's pee is high in nitrogen if it's burning your yard. My neighbor has a little dog. It doesn't burn anything. It actually just makes a little green spot because it's not as strong of a nitrogen burn. There's no difference between your dog peeing in your yard and you dropping a handful of fertilizer right here, and it just burns it away. Now personally, I think my dog pisses like battery acid because it's dead within a few hours of him peeing on it and starts turning yellow. So now there is no magic way of fixing this where it's not going to take any effort on your part whatsoever. One option is you can build a run, you know, fence in a small area where your dog can pee always, and you don't care if it has grass in it or not. They can kill it off, you don't have to worry about it. Second option I'm going to show you today is going to take a little bit of effort from you. So if you want to take your lawn to the next step and you want to keep it looking great, it takes effort, so you can't just skip out any steps along the way. George, come. Hey. So this here is George. He's actually my culprit. Come here. Hey. Come. Hey. Come here. Come here. Come. So now this here is my buddy George. You've probably seen him on the channel a few times. He's made a few appearances. So it's about his time to go. So we're going to go over here and we're going to demonstrate how we do this, and we're going to prevent that spot from burning. You need to go potty? Huh? Let's go. Go potty. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Show the people how you burn the yard. Good boy.
Run.
Watering can. That's all you need. Just your simple flowering watering can. Keep this full, and whenever your dog pees in the yard, you just go right behind him and pour a little water on it. Now you've diluted that nitrogen down to where it'll actually green up that spot a little bit, which if you keep up with your fertilizing like we're planning to this year, you won't really notice a difference, but you're going to take a negative from burning in your yard and turn it into a positive to help fertilize that spot in your yard. Okay, so it doesn't get much simpler than that. That's all you gotta do. You just gotta water it in. Whenever they pee, just go and pour a little water on that spot and it won't burn. That's all you gotta do. But now, like I said earlier, it's gonna take a little bit of effort, but just that little bit of effort will really help that spot recover and you'll be able to keep a nice lawn. Now let's talk about what we can do to repair that damage if it's already happening in your yard like it has mine. This is just from me taking the winter off and watering it. It burned it that bad. So now we're gonna talk about how I'm gonna fix it. All right, now speaking of repairing, I just saw the Amazon truck go by, so let's go check out what he dropped off. The Pro Plugger features a sleek green paint job, 2 foot pegs with added traction, and a nice padded handle, also featuring 2 rings for pulling plug depths of 2 inches, 4 inches, and 6 inches without. First things first, get rid of the instructions. We don't need those. Nobody reads the instructions anyways, at least no guys do. So we're going to use this we're going to take this to pull plugs out of the better part of my yard and move over into these bald spots, so that way they'll help fill in faster. This thing's hollow all the way through. You can see there. So basically you feel this, as you take plugs, it just fills up. So we're gonna go back here in this area. This is the back corner of my lawn, so it's out of the way. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull plugs from here, and we're gonna move them up into the bare spots up there, and I'll show you how we do it. All right, so we're gonna use the 4-inch ring here. So this pulls a 4-inch plug, and we'll go over here and see if we can get something out. And you can see there, I'm full with it. I've filled this entire thing up with plugs all the way up to the top. All right, so now that we have our plugs, we're gonna come back over here and we're gonna put 1 plug in the middle of each bare spot. right, so now that you've pulled your plugs, you've got your tube back full of dirt here, you take the dirt that you pulled out and put back in the original plug holes that you had, so that way your grass will fill back in and you don't have holes in your yard. As you're going to see, I had a lot of trouble getting a lot of these plugs put in up here, or the plugs pulled out so I could put plugs in up front. Half my yard is real sandy, good soil. Up by the house, it's real rocky. This came out of one of the holes. I was trying to put a plug through this. It wasn't working too well. And this area gives me a lot of trouble trying to keep it watered. It dries out really fast, and it's because there's a lot of rocks and debris under the soil level. And when I done this, I raked it up and tried to get as many rocks out as I could. There were several wheelbarrow loads of rocks that came out of there. But because those rocks are down there, it dries out faster and almost heats up under the soil faster. So I have a lot of problems with areas up there with hot spots. And now because I pulled so many rocks out up here, I didn't have enough dirt to fill the holes back in like I need to. So I'm gonna have to go find some topsoil somewhere and fill in these holes. Or actually I have a bag of potting soil up here. I'll probably put some good soil back in there. And that'll really encourage that grass to fill that hole back in. And you'll see those plug holes, they'll fill in no time. You won't even hardly notice them. So now in the description below, there'll be a link to that Pro Plugger. That'll be an Amazon affiliate link that will help out the channel if you use it, so I greatly appreciate it. And it is so much easier just to prevent the spot with that watering can. I know it takes a couple extra seconds to walk over there and pour a little water on it, but it is so much easier than coming back and having to put a plug and trying to get that area to fill back in. Make sure you hit subscribe and thumbs up for me. And in our next video, we're gonna be talking about soil tests. I know I was stubborn myself. This will be my first soil test. I thought I didn't need one. I just keep throwing fertilizer down, the yard will grow. But I'm tired of wasting money, so it's really time we crack down and get this thing down to perfection with the soil test. And with all that said, this is Shane Heath checking out. George, come. Hey. So this here is George. He's actually my culprit. Come here. Hey, come.